And we're live. We're having technical difficulties, but we have sparked innovations coming on the stream tonight. It's going to be an amazing show. I'm glad you guys waited. Sorry. Audio, computers, car audio, video, it all goes together. And as long as you have enough time to troubleshoot, you'll figure it out eventually. But without further ado, let's kick off the intro. I'll see you guys in 3 minutes.
So we're kicking it with Andy, right? You know what that means. We living loud.
Yeah, I know. Another 3 minutes. But we got a Titanic here, man. It's got a lot of levers. I just forgot to put the cool inside, but appreciate you guys tuning in tonight. Man, Sparked Innovations. Richard. Can I call you Richard? Rich. Ed. Oh, man. This is going to be fun. And it's Friday. Happy Friday. And here we go. Are we good to go for the show with Sparked Innovations? Are they here waiting for us? Yes, they're waiting. And they were on time. You gotta love cookies. All right, Cookie Monster. You gotta love them. Well, thank you guys for tuning in, and a very special guest nonetheless. And yes, we got some Pennsylvanians up in here tonight. Yes, Sparked Innovations, pretty local, but glad to have them on, and you guys waited for me. You didn't tune out. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate you, Kyle. Green team for the win. Go green or go home. I mean, it's that simple. It is that simple. Thank you for tuning in, Garrick. Let's go, Sparked Innovations. Lily, Lisa, thank you for tuning in. I'm glad otherwise nothing else went wrong. And you can always fix it, just like your system. And to have the right tools to know what's going on and for your system to work, Sparked Innovations does all that. I mean, they have so much on their website, man. It is kind of crazy, everything that they have. And of course, we're going to be talking about the Base Blaster, not the Graboid type, the Base Blaster and all their products they have, man. It is kind of crazy just how long they've been doing it. And it's easy to forget. There was a YouTube channel too. Showtime SPL, Sparked Ed. We're going to talk all about it, man. It's just, I've known these guys for a very long time, just watching them, just looking at them, just watching them. And now we get to have them on the show. We've been talking about it for months, and we waited till the Base Blaster was in your guys' hands or able to get it. So if you thought about getting a Base Blaster Blue Woofer, a retro series, you're going to want to get it now. Thank you for tuning in, Simon. Jimmy Pittman from Base Wars. Appreciate you for hanging out with us tonight, man. You guys are awesome. Hope you've been well, Jimmy. We're just doing a little bit of housekeeping, and we're going to bring them in. Liberty Base was interesting. I was actually watching that a little bit while I was getting set up. Maybe that's why I messed up. I was watching that with the Declue episode, and yes, you got to watch out for Living Loud with Andy Friday show. You don't want to overlap with that. It's always a blast, but I love watching the other ones. I really do. Thank you for tuning in, Garrick. Appreciate you. Shannon, hope you've been well, man. And yes, every other Tuesday, Kicking It With Andy, 50% off discount code, Bullfrog 100s, TW2s, the whole nine to kicker giveaway. But that 50% off discount code it's king, man. It is the Wonka bar. Thank you for tuning in. Hope I can rig it for your favor. Mr. Mullen, what is up? I hope you've been well, man. Experts on base. All right, Franco, Quaid, thank you guys for tuning in. And I just wanted to say hi and thank you for hanging out with me. And I know I'm not going to be able to read all the comments, but I watch them after. I watch my shows after to just look at it, see how it goes. And I appreciate you guys. But if you have any certain questions, just start yelling it, comment it over and over, and we will get to it. I'm going to hold a little tiny Q&A session towards the end. So make sure you hold your questions till the end. Appreciate you, Franco. Appreciate you, Garrick. And Bangin' Blues Randy. Appreciate you. Christopher is back, and he joined the green team, and he's staying the green team. Appreciate you, man. All right, so we got everybody in here. Let me make sure everything's good so nothing messes up. Let's see. That's cute. That's good. Okay, we're good. Music is pumping through. All right. How do I say this? Yes, we have another intro video, but you're going to like this one. Now we're going to bring on Sparked Innovations.
Ed and Rich from Sparked Innovations. Hey guys. Body to Showtime SPL. I'm Ed Lester.
I'm Rich Tornetta.
And this is Sounds Fun. We're kind of taking a scientific look at sound. With the conductor,
all-in-one distribution block that will read your current up to 1,000 amps.
Let's go.
If it sounds fun, it probably is.
Is there lighting okay in here? Edwin. Huh?
Here we go. Oh, no, I can't hear you guys. You got to be kidding me. No.
Can you hear us now?
Oh, I can hear you now. You're good.
Hey.
We're good. Awesome.
Get her mic on mute.
Oh, so I was just about to say that was amazing. You worked so hard on
Yeah.
that.
Hey, thank you guys, man. And that's why I said I need at least a week. I wanted to put something together. I mean, Sparked Innovations, you guys are awesome people. And man, just looking at some of those videos, it's like that is just science 101, car audio, stuff I love. And thank you guys for joining me tonight, man.
Oh, sure, man. Thank you so much
Yeah.
for putting that together. I'm going to go back and watch that myself.
Thank you very
Absolutely.
much. I see you copied my beard. This is my friend Tree.
You know, I was looking at all those videos and I'm like, oh my God, it's literally almost the same. That's funny you mentioned that. Get out of my head. Get out
The
of my
last
head.
time I saw you, you did not have
No.
that full. At least, yeah.
No, they don't think the beard's weird, so I'm keeping it for a little longer. We'll see how it goes. But
Yeah.
thank you, man. Thank you.
Looks good.
Absolutely. So, bringing you guys on tonight, I mean, obviously, the Bass Blaster subwoofer you guys have designed with Jacob Fuller, and now it's your baby. But just the whole bubble of Sparked Innovations, the YouTube, the science experiments, everything that you guys are, I kind of just want to go over everything, you know? And I know everyone wants to talk about the Bass Blaster. How much power can it handle? Can it play lows? And it's like, yes, it can play lows. It can take power. You know, you guys are in the 1%ers of the car audio community, so you're going to build something that these guys are going to want to be able to demo with. So, but yes, just the whole thing, Sparked Innovations, Showtime SPL, what made you guys both get into the whole car audio scene of things?
Well, he started a lot earlier than I did.
Yeah, since I was a child.
Yeah.
Probably 10 years old. I used to dissect tweeters and speakers from Radio Shack, remember? Optima
Yeah.
and
Oh.
Realistic. And I played with those. And then high school is when I met him.
Yeah, so I was in science class. I asked the person in front of me what a subwoofer was. And he goes, I don't know, but that guy Ed back there knows. I turned around and I'm like, hey, what's a subwoofer? And he explained it to me. And he's like, I got some in my car if you want to see it after school. And I'm like, okay, cool. And he had his 87 Plymouth Duster with 6 Sorenbag XLs in the rear.
That one.
And he had me put my head in the car, and then he played bass and my eyes vibrated. And I was like hooked from that day on. So that's when we became friends. We've been friends ever since.
Yeah.
That's
Friends
awesome.
to be.
You know, it's always that one experience, you know?
Yeah, and then you did Showtime SPL was your next thing, right? Well,
yeah,
after competing and everything.
That was way later. I don't know. We'll let him run.
Okay,
No,
sorry.
go ahead. I mean, shoot, man. I don't really bring on too many interview guests, but when I do, I try to bring on somebody that we all know and we want to hear their side of story. So have at it, man. Have at it. Absolutely. So the Showtime
We've told
SPL,
our
the
story
YouTube.
a lot, but
Yeah.
you know.
I hear you. I hear you.
Yeah.
Well, this is the first time I had you on, and it's like, you know, just with everything that you guys design and build nowadays, and now with this woofer and now mid-range speakers, I didn't even know you guys were doing that. That's awesome. I mean, duh. People are gonna, hey, you got any other speakers to go with the bass? So that's awesome. You guys are doing that, but just, you know, just getting into all the relays, the conductors, the fannies, the temperature sensors, the voltage sensors, all that stuff. Did you guys ever come with any kind of like electronic background in general, or is it just you just learned car audio and then you learned everything else around it? Because that's the way I did it.
Well, sort of both. I did go to a tech school for electronics, and it was basic electronics, some circuit design, troubleshooting. I worked in Sears repair shop where they fixed picture tube TVs and VCRs. So they used to get me to do the unwinding of the tape in the VCR.
Nice. Someone's got to do it.
Yeah, I was in high school. It was kind of like an apprenticeship type of thing. But also I just ran the front counter when people would bring in their vacuum and, you know, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then I went to Mobile Dynamics when I was 18, and that used to be like the rival to Installer Institute. The one I went to was in Toronto, so it was focused on car audio. That's before I actually got a job working at Circuit City as an installer. Rich is more self-taught, and then kind of followed my path.
Just learned a lot from him. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a sponge, and I'm curious as hell. So I would just continually ask questions. And the best part about it is no one ever wanted to hear him talk aside from me. So like, he's trying to tell his family all this cool stuff. He's got like a lot of brothers and sisters, and he wants to like share his knowledge, and everybody just like doesn't want him to talk. So like, I was curious. I wanted to know everything. So we would like have these like 4 or 5 hour conversations on a regular basis. I'd learn all kinds of stuff about the universe, and then I would learn about electronics, and then subwoofers and speakers and amplifiers.
And then we would try it. We'd go to his Beretta. He had a Chevy Beretta, and we'd try and wire up EL strips to make lighting in like the Rockford Fosgate symbol and stuff like this. And
and
fail horribly, but
inhale like toxic fumes as we're doing it in my basement. Yeah.
No, that was fun. We did fiberglass pods in your beach house.
Yep. And you almost passed out from the fumes there.
Yeah. Fumes, it seems like a recurring thing.
Yeah.
Hey,
stay away.
You won't learn unless you try it, you know, and that's the most experience you're going to get out of anything. You can read a textbook all you want until you start doing the stuff and learning it. But absolutely, I hear you on that. You know, it's either Kayla or my dad just get an earful all the time about whatever I'm doing. So whenever you have that person that actually will listen and they don't slap you in the face and say, shut up about kicker, you know, or car audio or whatever it happens to be, it's great to have. And you guys known each other for a very long time. And, you know, any company, because you guys are a company, you know, any company that actually has a strong foundation, it's not just a name slapped onto it, it's gonna last. And you guys obviously been doing Sparked Innovations for how long now? The name Sparked Innovations?
5, 6?
No, it's actually so it's 2017. So what is that? 7 years?
That's when we registered the company.
Yeah, so
we didn't really start selling anything until
2018. Yeah, that I think it was the relay box, the RBX 2CH. That was the very first product that we had, and we launched that, announced it at CES in 2018.
Yeah,
and that was in January.
Wow. So you actually took it to CES. That is amazing. You know, I know you guys sell stuff here, and it's for the car audio guys, but that is next level, man. That is not just rookie stuff right there. It's not.
Yeah, it came with a lot of failures before that, though, and that should not get lost on anybody, because we tried, as you were showing in the montage, we did a Sounds Fun thing, right? And it was planned for 6 episodes. We saved up money, we got investors, you know, we bought all this equipment, and we filmed 6 episodes. We only released 5, and partially because YouTube changed their algorithm right when we were releasing this, and instead of getting the views that he normally would get on his channel, it was like flatline, and it was so disheartening that we never released episode 6. So that was kind of a kick in the stomach. Like, it was like we were determined to go into business together, and this was going to be our venture, and to fail miserably, you know, it really sucked.
Yeah. We had semi offers from teachers to make educational series for school based on that Sounds Fun series, which was on my old channel name, Showtime SPL. I changed the name to Spark Dead. Yeah. But it kind of failed there. But there was some interest in the academic field. But for whatever reason, we just, being disheartened and everything, we just never pursued that.
Yeah.
Wow. That's, you know, I kind of did want to ask that, you know, why stop that? But I mean, with what you guys are doing now, you can't have everything, and it's hard to put all that effort into everything. Then you're going to be spread thin. But I mean, watching those videos, it's like watching Bill Nye the Science Guy. The teacher's rolling in the old TV, and you guys are going to be on it. That would have been awesome, but still,
that was our inspiration. That's what we, you know, watched when we were younger, and you know, it's like, oh, we could do that. You know, there is no Bill Nye right now, and like, you know, we could be the new generation of that.
Yeah.
So High hopes.
I definitely want to try some of those science experiments because I was like, square kickers, square ways, water. I want to do something like that. And I'm watching all these ones, you guys. I'm like, man, I need to do something like that in the studio, but I got carpet. I need to waterproof things, and I want to do that. It really, I don't know, it just tickles my feathers. I love it.
Do it.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, I'll need your guys' help for sure, some like do's and don'ts, Like, yeah, that didn't work.
We're here for you.
No problem.
Appreciate you guys, man. Big time. And all right, so we got a lot of comments here. Everyone's I just got them auto rolling. So appreciate you guys for tuning in. And these guys do push to make things perfect. And the products, I know you were talking about the RB2 channel, and that was your first one. That's the relay switch box, correct?
Yes, the relay box. The first one was a 2-channel, very high amperage, and then we changed it to a 4-channel. Somewhat lower amperage. So that's the current one, is the 4-channel.
Nice. And, the relay boxes are something that I feel like, it's smart that you guys made that first to get into the field of just all these products you have now, because that's one thing that's just lacking, where people are daisy chaining amplifier, and LEDs and whatever other accessories to have an on-off switch or splicing into their ignition, and that's not rated for that. So what you guys are done with that product alone is awesome, man. Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you. It's something that even our Andy here, when he was here, he likes to come by and work on his car sometimes, but he was one of our first customers for the relay box. And years ago, and he says, which I agree with, is every install needs an RBX. It's like, once you use it, you don't go back. It becomes so easy to set up, to troubleshoot, to change your install, that you don't want to do without it once you have it. So I do urge people out there, get one and you'll see.
I know, I was just talking about that with the bass knob, and when you talk about it back home and with your friends and whatever, and you just like, man, that is solid. And it's the thing, you don't know what you're missing until you have it. And then once you have it, you can't go back. Like, I got the one for Cookie Monster. Nobody sees it, but it's functional and it just powers everything, and it's nice. It's in one spot, and I don't have to worry about frying some kind of wires, my main wiring harness of the vehicle, whatever it happens to be. And we just got a super chat, so Cookie is kicking over there. Thank you, Dean. We gotta throw it up, and it's $10. So that means we're throwing the $10 Friday clip. Little bit of clipping. Thank you so much, Dean.
I think he has it. That's funny.
You gotta have it, man. It's like, once you do something in the studio, once you do something in your build, you keep adding things. And I was like, I could do that. That's cool. Wait, I can trigger a sound. Oh, we could put a speaker there, and I had to do something. But thank you guys so much for just gifting the memberships. That's just YouTube. It's like YouTube Patreons. It's the same thing as Patreon, but it's the membership stuff. So appreciate you guys for that.
That reminds me of one of the first things I designed using our first router. We were cutting acrylic on it, and this guy, I guess he saw my YouTube channel. He commissioned me to do a lit up mohawk, an illuminated mohawk that had RGB animation and everything, because he was a gamer, and he was on Twitch. And every time he killed somebody, he wanted a foot switch that he would hit, and then the thing would animate. So I built that for him, and I think he still uses it. I forget his name, but it's like when he's playing the game and he kills somebody, like a good kill shot or whatever, he hits a foot switch and the lights. So it's kind of like the Cookie Monster thing. Yeah.
That is awesome. I know, it's like, to me, I feel like I'm like coding the computer, and it's like using all these programs and stuff, and it's different. So it is cool. But for you to say that you created something like that, that is amazing. That is amazing. I can't do nothing like that. I just press buttons and yep.
Well, he came to me and he asked me. I didn't know how to do it at the time, so that's kind of the fun part, is like saying yes to something when you really don't know how to do it, and then you're committed. So now you backed yourself into a corner. You got to figure it out.
Yeah,
that's it. That's how I felt with my sister bringing her computer over. She bought for my nephew, and she's like, "Can you fix this? We can't get it around." I'm like, "Sure." And then we got it running, but like, yeah, no, did not think I was going to be able to do that in the beginning. And you live and you learn, man. You really do. And it's experience. All right, let's see. Appreciate you guys. And Anthony got the gifted membership. Welcome to the green team, Anthony. Thank you for hanging out with us tonight. And give these guys a like. Where can they find you? I know most people know where you're at, but sparkedinnovations.com. Where else? Facebook, of course.
Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. It's all /Sparked Innovations.
Yeah. Or Spark Dead is. I'm more prevalent on YouTube and TikTok under Spark Dead, but we do have the Sparked Innovations ones as well.
Awesome. Hey, even if as a company, you still have to have that social media presence. Working with Kicker the way I do, it's kind of crazy, man. Like just seeing the inner workings of having someone in charge of that and making the videos. And I think you guys do a really good job. And that video that you guys did recently with the adjustable enclosure, you got a lot of views on that. And I mean, that's smart.
It's 2.2 million. It's at 2.2 million. It's up to now.
1.3 maybe on TikTok and almost 1 million on YouTube. I think maybe for the wrong reasons.
Yes, for the wrong reasons.
But it's because
it happens.
Context and just want to argue and stuff like that. But like, hey, come see our woofer. It's fine.
Yeah.
Argue in the comments. Go ahead.
You know what? Sometimes it's good to even have some negative comments on any kind of post, because then there's other people who are either going to back you up on the post, or it's just going to bring in people that might not have ever known you even existed, but because of the negativity post, Facebook's like, oh, people like this. Here you go. And you guys get your name out there, man. And I'm happy for you.
And
we tripled our following in a week. So we were at 10,000 subscribers or 10,000 followers on Facebook. And that took us 7 years to do, and within a week we're up to 29,000 right now.
Yeah,
wow.
And it also, for me, it became an opportunity to teach. Not everyone in the comments have been willing to learn and have a back and forth, but a few have, and they were commenting based off of false assumptions on the video. Everything's taken out of context. It's a 1-minute clip of something they've never seen before. So then when I come in and actually clarify and give some more information, there's been a few that have been a good back and forth, and we're open to the discussion and learning more. And that helps me learn more, not just about communication, but when I have to go through the thought process of it, explaining something, it helps me refine what that actual technical details or the lesson in general is. So, I'm appreciative that it's blown up that much to allow for that, because everything else we had was like much more subdued in its view, and most of the viewers were people that already knew us. So this was a big wake up for all that. I love it.
It keeps you polished, and again, that's why I said I'm happy for you guys, because you guys deserve it, and sometimes all it takes is that spark, and then the fire starts going, and then you're good. And you're good.
And it couldn't have come at a better time when our subs was dropping and getting delivered. So
maybe people were just looking at the sub too. I mean, it's something nice to look at,
Just got to look at it sometimes.
That's it. We got them, guys. So we might as well we're looking at it. We're talking about it. The Bass Blaster. What made you guys want to design? I know it's designed around a retro look, obviously, but what made you guys want to do that for your company and yourself?
Well, so in the very, very beginning, I was in charge of the business development sales part of it.
Yeah.
I thought, well, hey, subwoofers, right? That's what we got to do. And Ed had really good relationships that he's built through DB Drag and competing over all the years with Jacob Fuller and guys that made subs. And his advice to me, and I had to listen to him because I was unfamiliar. He said, I don't want to step on their toes. I don't want to compete with them. Let's just do our own thing. And so that was the end of the conversation. It happened way, way early on in the company's history. And it was just kind of one of those things sitting in the back of our minds, like, oh man, that would be really cool, but we can't. And what happened that we decided like it was okay? Was it a conversation you had?
Yeah. Nick Wright of Incriminator Audio has always been a good friend. And almost every show that I saw him at, I would ask him, I say, look, we want to do woofers, but is there room? You know, all these new woofer companies come out every year and then go away. And he said, look, there's enough room in the industry. Just do it. and finally, like, he said that the right way or at the right time, where it's like, and sales of the Fanny and Relay Box were always decent, but not to take us to the next level. So we said, what could that be? And then we said, let's do woofers. And but it has to be our own. It can't be like just off the shelf. It can't look like anything. It can't be like anything. It has to be something that Ed and Rich of 30 years ago would have loved to have, and something that it includes our personality, our goofiness, our silliness, and our love of woofers and bass. You see, you know, like our friends Bruce, EXO, like yourself with all the kicker stuff. People that are so passionate about an electromechanical object. But it is an object, but we're so passionate about it that we dream about it, that we live and breathe it every day for years and years. And we want to put that into the product that we then offer to the people that think the same way. So the passion, the love, everything that we think about subwoofers and bass kind of is manifest in our woofer. And we want to do that with other things, but definitely a subwoofer is I mean, it's perfect. It's a perfect vessel for that.
He's like, it's perfect. It's perfect. Absolutely. It really is, though. You know, it's a pretty woofer. It's not.
It's one of those things that we started off way back when we were, you know, building our own systems and thinking about, like, imagining the engineers and designers that got to do this for a living. And they were always way above in our own minds. It's like, oh, that's for the adults, the professionals, the super smart people. Never in a million years did we ever think that we would be doing this, you know? And so, like Ed was talking about, that passion, it built over decades, like 3 decades of us sitting there. Was it 3 decades?
Yeah.
30
years.
Yeah, Lily's saying 30 years here. 30 years. That's 3 decades. The math is mathing.
Yeah. And so it's like when we were designing this, we came to a point that actually reminded me of something that happened to Gene Wilder and Mel Brooks when they were doing Young Frankenstein. They were writing it, and Gene Wilder wanted to have when the monster dances on stage to put it on the Ritz. Mel Brooks thought it was a horrible idea, and he's like, absolutely not. And Gene Wilder was so passionate about that in the story that he was brought to tears, like yelling and screaming, and he was fighting for it and saying, no, this has to be in the movie. And then he says, okay, it's in. And he asked him, well, why did you put me through that? If you were just going to say yes. He goes, I wasn't sure if it was right, but because you argued for it, that's when I knew it was right. So we had something like that go on with the sub. I was definitely like, the mesh has to go on there, because I loved my Audiobond Flame cues, and it was like something that made me so happy. And I wanted to see it again, because I really hadn't seen it on any subs since then.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, we can get a boot, or we could show off the magnet. And I kept, no, we have to do this mesh. And it obviously made it in, but those conversations, you couldn't have predicted them. You know, we didn't know what was going to come up when we were designing our first subwoofer. So, you know, there it is.
It's
right
totally different. And whenever I got into car audio, those Audiobond Flame series or whatever one, there's so many of them, they had that look. And that was like one of the first things I seen even before Kicker, you know? And I like how you guys approach that. And with even like the colors, the stainless steel dust cap. And I just found out, because I was obviously watching a lot of your videos, that's a paper cone. So it looks like it's all metal, though. It really does, but that you want less weight, and paper cone's the way to go.
Yeah, and you know, there's certain parts of this that like in here, like we were going to have like mesh across here. We decided not to do that because we wanted to see the voice coil and see how, you know, the excursion and whatnot.
Yeah,
just so many parts of this that, like I said, you know, there's conventions that we're used to that you know, we've seen throughout the years, and there was no rule book, basically. Like we could dream up something that we really, really wanted. And so we said, okay, it's going to be a gray basket. And yeah, it's going to be a gray surround or a gray cone. And we're going to do, because we had examples. It's kind of like, like a mixture of different subs that we've seen throughout the years that we've loved. And we were able to say, well, I like the way that they did this, but not that. I like the way these guys did this, but not that. Yeah. And kind of like it's like an amalgamation of all those things that we
all your best ideas. Yeah. Absolutely.
The dust cap, it's actually aluminum. It's really thick.
Wow.
But so being retro inspired, there's about 12 different woofers that gave us inspiration. There were woofers with aluminum dust caps. One is Diamond, the old Diamond audio company, and I have it back there. They were thinner and everything, but I liked aluminum dust caps. So
yeah.
Aluminum. And if you notice, it looks like one of our switches, our push button switches.
Right. Yes. The one with SPL on the front, little guy. Yeah. Absolutely.
So they're aluminum, shiny aluminum with the blue light and everything. So it kind of looks like that, but old school woofers that had colored surrounds. I have the orange, the old Sura Vega XLs still back there. So
I know people are obsessed with the Sura Vegas, and I think it's just because of the orange, surround. It if you just looked at a black surround Sura Vega, you'd be like, oh yeah, it's a speaker. You wouldn't even realize, like the average person wouldn't, So right. I like the way that you went after this, and designed it in your own way that stood out because, it's not just a black woofer, it's not just this high roll surround, and even down to the motor is different, and just tolling for that and everything else. I could just imagine, all the money spent and the time and the frustration, but it's worth it. It's here, and you guys even have an 18 too, so I'm all ears. It's like, oh wow, look at that.
Oh, there it is.
That's back there.
How do you lose the big one?
Yeah, I forgot which side it was on, but yeah. And actually, we started when we decided to do woofers. That was 2 years ago, so it has been a long time.
And I would also add the nerves. I mean, he doesn't feel it the way I do. I'm an anxious person, so whether or not we're making the right decisions, like there's a lot of decisions that happen between starting with the idea and then actually getting a production sample, and it's like, oh, are we doing it the right way? What if people don't like it? What if it turns people off because it's too different? Like all these thoughts. And at the end of the day, we said we're going to take a risk because Ed and I are both artists, and you look at something and you either love it or hate it. Like that's what they consider good art. You know what I mean? It makes you feel something. Yeah. And so we're like, all right, we're going to take that risk. We're just going to do what we would want, something that we would love, hoping that people, that love bass and audio the way we do would feel the same way. And, a majority of the time it's been positive. Some people are turned off by it. You know what I mean? They're like, oh, it's ugly, blue surround, it makes it look cheap. It's like, that's fine. Like that's
totally just because of the Alibaba $29.99 one they got there, and it's like it's got the blue one, but they made that for a reason because they know people want that. It's different, and this is the real one. All right.
Yeah, definitely. This is a performance.
Specs on the 12. We'll just go 12 since that's easiest. And I'm sure some things are pretty much the same, but they skew a little differently for different sizes, lower FS and different stuff. But so the power handling on that and voice coil 4-inch, because I know it's pretty big. That's a big coil, isn't it?
They're all 4-inch. I actually have our prototype was black. That's what it would have looked like. But it's still the same coil. I mean, performance and specs, this style to the blue style was exactly the same. It's just cosmetics. So 4-inch voice coil. You can see it's black, which is a heat coating on there. 50 millimeter winding heights, copper wire.
That's got a decent amount of throw, 50 mil. Yeah.
And we did a lot of, I wouldn't say compromises, tuning of our kind of target performance goals. To perform well, but still keep kind of the look and package that we wanted. So 2000 RMS is actually above where our target was. We originally wanted a 1500 watt RMS woofer, and we have a friend in the industry named Jacob Fuller. He owns and runs and has designed woofers for Sundown Audio. And he was good enough to us that he did the engineering behind the woofer. So he went a little bit above where our targets were in performance and came out with even more than 2000 RMS, but we kept it down. Yeah. So 2000 actually became a cool, because like, Night Industries 2000 and all the just the word 2000 kind of fit. So the Bass Blaster's full name is the Spark Innovations Bass Blaster 2000.
And I like that. That matches because it's kind of reflecting of the 2000-ish era too.
Yes. So it fit that way. So we did performance-wise, suspension and everything is more, I would say, close to a 2500 type woofer, but we know what people are going to do. If we say 2000 RMS, 4,000 should be good. I mean, that's fine. People like to clip. There's good venting there. Some of the heat will go away, so that's fine. So it is 2000 RMS. It's a low frequency woofer. It's a 4-inch coil that's going to handle some abuse. Not all the abuse. I know there's people out there, but some abuse.
Yeah. And what was neat too is when Jacob took on this project, he spent a lot of time with it, and I found out later on that he had the option to do a cookie cutter, just kind of borrow some things that he's already done for Sundown and just plop it into here.
Yeah.
But the comment that I heard that he made was, "I want to do something special for the guys at Sparked," and that still gives me chills because. He's renowned in the industry. He's one of the best subwoofer designers, engineers in the world, and he wanted to basically take ideas that he's had over the years for different things that he would have done, and put it into this sub for us, and that it just meant the world because now we've got something that's unique, and not just for unique's sake. It actually is a really good performer, and there's a lot of engineering that went into it. So that it doesn't just look pretty; it pounds the ground, and so we're just super thankful to him for that energy, effort, time that he put into it.
I know you're lucky to have him, a real designer of speakers, not Alibaba and click and pick your parts, and you don't know what you're doing, but you know what you want. And to be able to have somebody, that's like me with W and my artwork. Like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm like, hey, I want it like this, and I want it like, and boom, minds together and you make a masterpiece. And if you're going to do it, that's the way to do it. And that is awesome. Absolutely, man. And yes, it's zero ohms. Absolutely. What configurations do those come in? 2 and 4 or 1?
There's a toroidal coil inside.
Bingo! See, we finally got it, guys. We finally got it.
Dual 2 and Dual 4.
Nice.
That's mostly to match most amplifiers that are out on the market.
Right. And, people keep saying, oh, half ohm, quarter ohm, and it is the race to 0 ohm. It's just, when we're going to get there, I don't know. Hopefully not too soon.
No. So eventually we might do other things, but we had to start somewhere and come out with the base platform to then build off of. So that's what this is.
Nice. And absolutely, man. You don't want to make too many products, but at the same time, you want to have enough for everybody. I already seen comments of people saying 6.5s and 8s. And 8s probably, I could see that. A lot of people want to put those in those pickup trucks, and what fits better than an 8? 4 of them in a truck.
That's an 8. We'll have these in 8s. This is a prototype. Our production will have the same color.
Is that the mid-range driver and then paired with a super tweeter?
Yes.
It's a Neo. Yeah, it's a Neo motor, and we don't have the
6.5s and 8s. This is an 8. So if people want 8s from us, it won't be that. It'll be that.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Eventually.
For the people that you're designing this woofer for, maybe might not even be the clientele that need a 6.5 and 8 because you're pairing it with like a mid-range super tweeter system, which is, in my opinion, a louder system, and you're kind of going for that just loud sound. And that's awesome. You guys are doing it. I did not even know that you guys had the mid-range. Like I literally found out last night. I'm like saving picture. I'm like, Oh, look at that. That is cool, you know?
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah, money comes into a factor as a big factor too.
Yeah.
You know, we had dreams for how many we would get of this and everything, and then you start looking at costs, and you look at how much of this sub is custom tooled.
Yeah.
A majority of it, like 80% of it is our own tooling. So we had to get like roughly half of what we really wanted. And the same thing with the mids and tweeters. It's like we have these ideas, a list of ideas, for like crossovers and different types of mids and tweeters and different sublines. But you got to kind of take that first step, sell through, buy more, and just
all the businessy stuff that I don't want to deal with.
Yeah, and it's not fun, and I get to do it every single day.
You do that. I'll mess around with new designs.
No problem.
You do the zeros and ones, I got the rest.
Exactly.
Now, your guys' dynamic is perfect, and obviously that's why you're here today. And I can feel it every time I hang out with you guys, at the car audio shows, or just, even online and just watching your guys' other interviews on YouTube channels and stuff like that. It's like I feel like I've known you guys forever. You guys just have that persona, and what better thing to do that you're doing for the community. We appreciate you. We really do.
Thanks, man.
Absolutely.
The appreciation is two-way, so don't forget what you do. And I did talk to you in the past at one of the shows about possibly visiting you in person. What people don't realize, they'll say, "Oh, you're from Pennsylvania too. Where at?" Like, no, Pennsylvania's not a huge state compared to some of the others, but it's still a big state.
It is.
So we're on the complete opposite sides, almost the complete opposite sides. We're in Philly. You're out there, so it doesn't make it that easy to just swing by.
No.
But someday we don't know. It might happen, And
Absolutely.
you're always welcome here.
I was talking to Kayla about that today. I was like, I need to drive out there and drive out the battery hookup, because you guys are all down bottom south of Pennsylvania, but you're a little bit more east than them. I think they're in Bethlehem. I think it's called Bethlehem, Pennsylvania.
North of us,
About an hour north of us, yeah.
Oh, see? Bing, bang. Yeah, I'll do that in one trip. Yeah, absolutely. Right. Yeah, because I always pick up, just random stuff from battery hookup and Sherco, car audio. You need batteries too. And I know you guys deal with Titan 8 and excess power as well, because you don't just sell your products on your website. Sundown. What else do you sell on your website?
Resilient Sounds, SMD, Sundown, Excess Power, Stetson. And there's going to be Prodigy Audio. That's Jonathan DeMuth.
Still working that
and we're still working that out. Yeah. So, and it's kind of funny, because when we first started, we thought we were just going to be a manufacturer, but then we realized, okay, well, we don't have dealers yet, so we have to have an online store. So I built the website, and we started selling things, and then dealers started approaching us, and then dealers wanted more of the market share. So we're like, all right, we're going to focus less on the retail and more on dealers. And then it seemed like everybody wanted to come out with their own line of subs, batteries, whatever, under their brand.
Yeah.
And it's like, it wasn't the traditional dealer model anymore. And so over the past 7 years, we've seen the market kind of shift a couple times. And so we've had to pivot with it. And pivot with it.
I heard it.
It basically required us to do what we're doing, which is like offer other brands, but also be a manufacturer at the same time.
Yeah.
So it's been interesting.
Yeah.
Do whatever you got to do to keep the boat afloat. Doesn't matter how you keep it afloat, but you do it. And no, I like the way that you guys branched out, at least, even with Steve Mead and all his testing things too, because it's not like you guys are going to make out or just make your own AMM1 or your DD1. I mean, you guys know how to do it, but does it even make financial sense to do so? But have all the things readily available.
Right.
Well, it's not just it is that. But it's also relationships. We're really, really big on relationships. Yeah. Hence the reason why it took us so long to come out, with subs. Guys like Steve Mead, we would look at his lineup and we'd have these ideas, but then we would think, it's too close to what he's doing, or there might be some crossover. Yeah. And if we were jerks and just about money, we would, compete and try to take market share away from him. But this is a marathon. It's not a race, and we're long-term focused. We're going to be doing this for decades. And so what we're doing is we're slowly building up good relationships with manufacturers, suppliers, vendors, customers, so that in the long run, it'll pay dividends for us. And, and I think without saying it, Steve already knows that, and so we can approach him and say, we're thinking about doing something like this. Would this conflict with anything that you're doing? And obviously we're under no obligation, but it's the right thing to do. And I can't say that sentiment is shared by everyone in the car audio community, but that's our approach. And so we believe in partnerships. And it's happened a couple times where I won't name names, but a company would think that we were going to be out to get them or to make some kind of rivalry.
Right, be their competition. Yeah.
Absolutely. And so they were defensive and a little combative, but I reached out and basically said, hey, look, we're doing a lot of the same stuff. You know what I mean? Let's see if we can partner some way. Let's see if we can, make something that's even better for the industry and both benefit, and then all of a sudden you start sharing ideas, going back and forth. And now you have a partner. You have somebody that was going to be, your enemy, but now you're partners. And
that's the way to do it.
That's the way it's worked for us for all these years, and we're going to continue to be that way.
Yeah. That's why we've also worked with Kicker, and some of our gear is in the Bronco.
Absolutely. I know. I was looking at it. You got a lot of stuff in there. And that's the thing. You guys make the stuff for anything from small builds to even big builds. And when you have those big builds, you need something that is powerful, that can go to multiple things for multiple amplifiers and multiple accessories. Absolutely. And it all looks pretty, man. Like the fannies and just everything you guys do. It's like you're not just slapping something on it. You're creating it. You're creating it.
Yeah, our business philosophy has always been like, we want it to be a piece of jewelry, like nothing that we make should have to be hidden away because it's ugly in just a plain old box. We always wanted to make it look like, even if you didn't know what it did, you wanted it in your install just because it looked cool.
Yeah.
And we've had people over the years, I'm sure you're familiar with Omi, which we don't make anymore, but people bought that and never installed it. Like there were some people that just had it like sitting on their shelf, and it was a trophy for them, and they never installed it. And it was because it looked like a work of art. And so we're real big onto that. It's probably cost us a lot of money over the years because we're not streamlining and we're not like mass producing, we're not outsourcing. A lot of the stuff that we do is hand built, in this shop, and that's kind of why we're pivoting to something that could be made for us, because we were realizing that we're not set up to be a true like manufacturer. We just can't crank the stuff out fast enough. So that's another pivot that we didn't see coming.
And that's the whole battle of learning how to run and grow your business, and learning, just in life, biting more than you can chew and trying to make everybody happy and yourself happy and balancing out. And balance is the key with everything. And I feel like, you guys are at that point now, at least to know what makes sense, what doesn't. I know I asked Ed about that too, because I think that's cool, but like, kind of do it with my own switchers up here, but you don't do that with car, like, in your car. But for like an amp dyno, I've done stuff. But the Omi was just like crazy looking with all these relays and switches, and just made it nice and easy, but not very practical. Not everybody's constantly switching the impedance of their woofer, load and all that stuff. Like, I mean,
small market. Yeah. There's a dusty old
look at that. You got to have at least one. Look at that.
And it lit up. But
that thing looks like some kind of flux capacitor or the part that goes into it.
And that's missing all the jewelry. There was these big, like the push terminals on woofers.
Oh yeah, all throughout here.
They're big 4-gauge, shiny nickel coated, so it looked like bling. Car audio bling, as I think what someone called it once. So.
Yeah, it looks like some rings on your finger, just all loaded, or something. Exactly. Speaking of the terminals, I know those are pretty big on the bass blaster there, and they're really like that basket and motor is about almost as big as the cutout for the speaker. Like that is. Almost. Kind of crazy.
This is the 10-inch, and the motor's about 9 1/4 inches in diameter.
Sheesh.
So That's also one reason we can't do this in an 8. If we were to have an 8-inch, it'd have to be basically a different model. Having a 4-inch coil and an 8-inch woofer, that might be a fun experiment to do someday, but
You need a whole different thing. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why there's no L7X8 yet. You know, they got to be different.
Yeah.
And the Bronco, there's Fannies, there's Speedy, which is a speed controller. We don't make that anymore.
RBX and switch panels.
The relay box and switch panel. A lot of our stuff's in there. Yeah,
The red versions
right.
of it.
Right.
But you
Yeah.
can't.
Custom.
You can't.
I know
see,
that's the
but
thing
yeah,
too. You guys made a lot of custom stuff for people too, and custom on demand, and that's, you know, it's great for the community, but it's hard to pump that out in volume and your time, because the older we get, the more we'll realize how much the time is valuable. You know,
right? And it's not scalable, and time, like, you know, talking about videos and stuff. You dedicate a lot of time to your channel and to what you do here, and that's one reason why we kind of scaled back on doing videos over the years. Is because we're just getting our hands dirty. But lately we've kind of knocked up the priority of doing videos. Like, we just got to, you know, if it takes a day or a couple days away from production or from product development, then so be it, because it's another necessity. We have to do it. Not to the level that you are spending the time on what you do. I don't know how you find the time, but you know, a little bit of something is better than nothing. And that's what we're doing now.
No, I think you guys.
That's a nice compliment. That's Garrett, you've always supported us too, and we have like loyal followers. You know, people that have been with us from the beginning, pretty much, and supported us back when we were just selling switches and meters. And it was like a shot in the dark. Like, what's our first product's going to be? And we would like look and say, okay, well, we can slap our name on some voltmeters and let's get some switches. And there's so much guesswork. Like, looking back, we had no idea what we were doing.
Yeah.
We still kind of feel like we don't know what we're doing. And, it's, you know, I didn't go to school for this. I went to school for industrial design.
Yeah. So design us some stuff. We got a comment. We need to see Bass Blaster demo car. So we got a couple things. Our friend Andy here on the Philly side of Pennsylvania he's going to be using 3 of our 12s in his Dodge. Hopefully that'll be at the TD8 show.
Which one's
HHR,
this one here?
Okay,
Ooh,
that's
there.
Brandon Shinosky of Custom Speaker Pods. He showed up to the warehouse when we got our shipment and bought them right off of the pallet and installed them right then and there. So if you're in the South, I believe he's in South Carolina, probably floats in shows around there. He has 2 12s. My HHR will eventually have 6 15s, but for the TD8 show, I'll probably have 2 15s.
He said 615s like it just slid right out of your mouth like it was nothing.
well,
you know, a little HHR, yeah.
Yeah, you know, no, I might do what some people thought I was doing with that video with the test box. The test box was meant to be try one volume, change it, seal it, do another test, you know, but people thought I would change it as I played. So it made me think, there's my HHR. That's on Tail of the Dragon down in Tennessee.
Oh, you went on that road?
Yeah, I love it. Love it.
You're crazy.
It's my favorite road. So
He's
when
like,
I
get on backwards.
I may do a box that the volume changes with actuators. I may do that. So we'll see.
Yeah, because the way you did it with just the enclosure, it's like, you know, that or like the port too. And that's the thing with enclosures. There's so many variables, and then you put it in a car and it changes everything. And then you put it in a different position in the car, and then it changes everything and loading and just how it works. It's crazy, but it's still cool to have something like that. Even to see your own product, kind of like, you know, what it can do. You know, TS specs only show us so much. What, 1 watt? You know, it's like you got to see what it does.
It's 1,000 hertz too, right?
Yeah, some of those tests are high frequency, so they don't really matter for low frequency. And we do have someone else has a 12 that'll be doing videos this weekend. Sean Mullen of Mullen Performance.
Mr. Mullen.
Yeah, so he'll be putting out some videos soon, I think. I'm not sure what build or context, but, you know, we'll wait and see that. So there are going to be, fortunately, some videos and some demo stuff coming out soon to see them. I'm interested to see big builds with all the blue surrounds moving
Yeah.
in a big build. That's going to look crazy.
Like Exo's build. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. Like
Yeah,
9
because
of
you're
them.
going to be able to see it kind of really flexing more than just a black speaker and a black surround. You're really going to see that extension with depending the frame rate and all that other stuff with the camera. It's going to look awesome.
Oh yeah.
See
Yeah,
it do the
reflection
wave
off
on the old
dust
ones.
cap and everything. I mean, it's killer so far. So I'm excited.
Yippee.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. People are getting them in their hands. They're available. And of course, it's like your first product. So maybe people were kind of like, with subwoofers. So people are like, but they do know from you telling them, Jacob Fuller, like literally designed it. And Sundown Woofers, I mean, I love Kicker and all, but Sundown makes some good stuff, and it's like, yes, it's a little bit different than what Kicker does, but it's stuff that's tried and true. People running in the lanes, and it's better than that cheap stuff that other people say don't run, because it's actually quality stuff. And there's a designer behind it, just like everything in this world. There's a designer behind it. It's awesome and it works. But no, that is awesome. And I know we got so many comments. You guys are awesome. I have a few queued up here, nothing crazy, and a few are they're just kind of rolling through here. What did Eddie say before we take that down? I would do them at cost and deplete some of the competition to grow and spark. Hey, I mean, it's a dog eat dog world out there. You got to do what you got to do. Let's see here. Do you also make your own enclosures with colors, logos, maybe transparent to see? So you're talking Bobby Gately enclosures. I feel like that's where you're going to want to go for something like that. But have you guys ever thought about that? Or does that still come down to like Bobby Gately? Bobby Gately's doing it. Do you guys need to do it?
Bobby Gately's a good friend, and we do want to partner with him and use him as a suggested source. Downstairs, I am making an enclosure for a customer, but it was more so a test run to see if it's feasible for us to make them. And it's really taken too long. Like I said, having to take time away to do videos, to drive down, get our inventory, and like, do all this stuff. It's not feasible. We may build up and ramp up to do that. But I think what we're going to do is gain a couple trusted sources that if you want an enclosure, we'll send you to them, or have them do a bunch for us that we could then offer through the site. But it's still early to really know exactly which direction is going to be the main direction, but not out of here yet. Nice.
Hey, and that's the thing. It's like you're always trying to think of ideas, but you don't want to, just do something to do something. And again, it comes down to that time, and you guys are probably running around exhausted. And when you lay down on the couch, you're like, oh man, here we go. Ready for day 2. Like, it's like you're exhausted, but you're excited and you want to do things, and you just hope everything works too. And it's the biggest anxiety, just doing the YouTube stuff. I work with my dad and sheets and cleaning ceiling tiles, but like this whole thing, and I'm looking at the analytics and how I'm doing it. I wish I would do more videos like how you guys do. And like, I could do it. I got all this equipment, but it's like, I gotta keep doing the live streams, the Kicker giveaways every other Tuesday. Like, I got some pretty cool things going on. That's why I started to do some of the shorts, and like how you guys were doing too, just to get something out there. But again, it's like time. It's like, man, I just spent 4 hours on a 30-second video, and I still could have done better. But
right. I think you could do it. Take some of our old experiments we've done on the old YouTube videos and recreate them for your own. I think if you pump out one of those videos a month, it could help.
Absolutely. I mean, I will do it. I'll try one of them at least, and some of them I don't even know what you guys were doing, but I mean, it looked cool, and but no, just all the science experiments, man, that's right up my alley. And I always try doing some stuff like that, but it's like, I don't know what to do. So I'll definitely try one of them. I appreciate it. And I'll definitely give you guys the nod, be like, yeah, Sparked Innovations.
Nice.
We got Deviant for Life in here, and then Bobby B. I have to throw this up because we can't ever start the show without Bobby B, and he was a little bit late, so thank you for being here, Bobby B.
I'll go Bobby B, baby. Bobby B.
That's the only reason why the guys tune in, see the little clips. Appreciate you guys so much for hanging out with me and Rich and Ed here tonight. And we got 99 cents stars. Thank you, Mohammed Hazir. Appreciate you. And I think I got, we'll just call that pennies. That's pennies.
I got pennies.
Exo, man. Love him. And he's the same person in person. He really is.
Yep.
Let's see. Okay, appreciate you, Muhammad. Again, Deviant for Life is in here. Had to hop in because my homies, not my homies, my homies Rich and Ed are in here. Is at a sparked sub. Gorgeous. Well, you just got to look at it, Deviant. And yes, where have you been? Sleeping under a rock? But it's okay. That's why we had this show tonight to, help you guys get this going, man, and get this product out there a little bit more. And then we got a $10 super chat from Jake. Oh man, Jake is balling tonight. He is making it rain.
Make it rain.
Hit it, Michael.
Daddy.
Thank you, SDK Enclosures. I envy you guys on the aspect of how much y'all still enjoy audio. I find myself burnt out recently, just starting to feel like a job in my opinion. And what keeps y'all motivated when it gets rough and stressful? Good question.
Great question.
We probably have two different answers. Should we both answer this question?
You go
Absolutely.
first.
Psychosis.
Oh,
I'm kidding. Well, it's been in my blood, like I said, since I was 10 years old, and I'm a visionary. I look to the end of something. So the idea of having the rough days of doing production, of handling customer orders and concerns and stuff that gets us bogged down in the stress, I can easily look past that to the day when we're a bigger company and there's people running our woofers and possibly amps in the future at all the shows we go to, and I'm driving my own ride down the street with my 615s, just enjoying the bass and just feeling everything I've built and everything we've built come to something, and to be able to spread that joy to others as well as myself every day. And so I have no problem getting through the rough days, because that's constantly on my mind of what it could be and what it will be someday.
That's good. You're keeping the goal close. You kind of got to keep that goal close and keep your eyes down the road. One thing I learned from my dad is keep your eyes down the road. Don't look left and right. You'll drive fine. And to see what you guys, kind of have coming down the road and the good things that are coming, and to look forward to those that keep you motivated, and there's small things in life too. How about you, Rich?
Completely different. So since I look at the bank statements and cash flow and all that stuff every day, that part's not fun, and that is extremely stressful. Juggling who gets paid when, and how long you can go without paying something, and sales not coming and that kind of thing. So I don't have a whole lot of fun, so to speak. Every now and again I get to do like some industrial design stuff, or graphic design stuff. But what I look for is when I come home, I get to see my daughter and my son, and they, jump all over me, and they have no idea of how stressful it is here. They have no idea how healthy or not healthy the company is at any given time. And I know I have to perform for them and keep coming home, and making this work. This has to work. Yeah. So for me, it's I hope we get where he's talking about. And I think I started out there, maybe a few years ago. But I completely get what SDK is saying. It does wear on you. So you have to look for different things to live for and strive for. And that's what it is right now for me. And I'm hoping that this line of subs goes really well, because I think that'll allow me to take my tunnel vision away and start to enjoy, because we that's the whole reason we did this. We wanted to do what we loved as a job for the rest of our lives. That's the whole reason we started this company. And I want to get there. It's just that we're not there yet. I'll say that we're not there yet, but that's my motivation, I guess. Best answer.
It's hard when it's your main source of income, If it was just me on the YouTube, just that, and to support the family, I could just imagine, what you guys feel, especially like the story you just said, Rich, with all that, and, to keep a clear mind is the best way to go at it. But, it's easier said than done, and then you get home, you're alone, and all you have is time to think. And what does that, what do you do to make yourself get through it? And there's a lot of different ways, and everyone has their method. I think Mr. SDK just needs to build more boxes and just get back to work. No, I'm just kidding. We love Jake. All he does is kick out enclosures, and he actually built one for my L7X, and that thing does good. I know you guys were doing some numbers too with the bass blaster in the HHR, and you guys got what, a 143 on 2000 watts or something like that?
Yeah. I just put out another video of that today, just another short, just in that test box, that adjustable test box. Just what's the SPL, because people are asking. So 143 on 1997 watts.
That ain't bad at all.
Just right there.
I thought I had that video queued up, but Facebook restarted on me, but that's okay.
That's all right.
But yeah, so either way, it's something that's going to be able to take some power. And a 143 in an HHR, I mean, it's a smaller car, but still, what frequency was that again? 40 something?
44 hertz. Yeah, 44. This is my second HHR, so it's a respectable score, but I could definitely get more. But this woofer's not meant for numbers.
Right.
We'll see what kind of fun I could have with it in the future.
And even then, what enclosure was that in? Was that in the test box enclosure doing that?
Yeah, that janky looking test box.
Yeah, you got to get something more solid. I feel like there's still probably gaps a little bit, and maybe, just dial it in a little bit different. Absolutely, and those numbers should, jump up some. But 44 hertz is probably right around your resonant peak in that, but still, respectable number. And again, it's meant to just listen to music demo-wise, like listen to rebass, listen to kind of, just hip-hop R&B. Maybe not the best for just, jazz music and tight, bass. It's a bigger woofer. It's got a 4-inch coil, so it's like an L7X kind of deal, It's in the same breadbasket. Jake is throwing another super chat. He just wants us to look at it. Thank you for the pennies, sir.
I got pennies.
I still can't believe he said that, and I died. I'm like, he watches the stream. This is great. This is great. Appreciate the input. I feel the sincerity for sure. Thank you, Jake, and hope you're doing well at home, man. And again, thank you for the pennies. And these guys are awesome, man. If you guys haven't already done so, check out their website. Sparked Innovation link is in the description. Check out the Bass Blaster. And if there's any other last questions for these guys, because I don't want everyone to be like, oh, I got to go to bed. It's already 11:24 for both of us here, and we started a little bit late. But if you guys got any questions for them, drop them down below, and we're going to do a quick fire for questions, and then we'll let you guys go.
We do thank everyone for hanging out late.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Have the OMI shout out, but the social media platforms they have, the OMIs.
Oh, shout out the social media. Yep, Facebook, Sparked Innovations, Instagram, Sparked Innovations. More prevalent, Sparked Ed on YouTube and TikTok, but there's also Sparked Innovations there.
Absolutely.
Sparked
Absolutely.
Ed on Instagram also. Sparked Innovations and Sparked Ed on Instagram. I kind of share the same thing on both of those Instagrams sometimes, but
I know Instagram's a mixed bag too, man. It's a mixed bag. And we got a $10 super chat from Chris. Appreciate you, Chris. No comment, but he's just throwing it out. Oh, there's the clipping. Was that music video filmed with a bass blaster? Just asking. I don't know. It seemed like it was blasting some bass. And that's all we do here, is just the love of car audio and the extra loud. And then you also have to have it sound good too and know what everything's doing. And, you guys do all those products and it's awesome. But thank you so much, Chris. Rising Higher Designs. Appreciate you for super chatting tonight, and goes towards the channel. And let's see. Christopher, good show tonight. Thank you, Christopher. And David, David K is in here tonight. Oh, we got to throw Dave's video up.
Yeah, don't forget to hit the like. You gotta hit the like. Love them. It's real easy. That thing that goes like this. Pretty simple. That's it.
I hope we have Slamology this year. I really do. Oh, look at that. Oh, look, there is. Oh, look at that. Oh, look at that. The timing. It's been a minute, so don't forget to hit the like. We're on the same brainwave there. Love Dave, and having that live show at Slamology has been awesome to do every year. And I don't know, are you guys going to Slamology this year? If they have Slamology and where they have Slamology, is it on the list?
Depends on where it is, definitely.
Yeah. That's usually the biggest show for us of the year, and yeah.
I heard Pittsburgh. You know,
No.
Pittsburgh. No,
Come on.
I'll go twice a year then.
Yeah.
Hopefully they figure something out. Hopefully they don't just postpone. You know, I feel like that still is on the table. You know, I try to get Donnie on here, but until we know what's going on, can't have him on, obviously. So hopefully sooner than later. But either way, and then TDH, you guys go out to, what other shows do you guys go to?
Excess Power Show, that's in Tennessee, and the Sundown Show in North Carolina.
Nice.
We'll see if there's any others that pop up, but that's been the steady ones over the years.
I know, I was going to say, I feel like that's the big 4 or 5, you know, on the East Coast, side of things here.
Right.
West Coast, a little too far to take the HHR. And I know you guys drive that HHR there. You're not flying in, you know?
Yeah, we've driven to every show. So we stay within about 12-hour drive distance. So Tennessee is one of the furthest ones. Slamology is probably an 11-hour drive, something like that. So if they move that further away, further west, you know, that might be a tough deal for us. But
you're only about 5 hours away. Slam's like 6 hours from me, so it's not too bad. Yeah.
Not bad.
So what
I'm
we'll do
like
is
Southwest Pittsburgh, so
we'll come to your house. We'll sleep over.
sounds
And
good.
so therefore, the drive will only be 6 hours.
Yeah.
You know, that's what some of the guys do that watch the show here. They drive from New York down to Pittsburgh here, and then they carpool the rest of the way out to Slamology. And I mean, we got bunk beds. We can build another one. Kayla does, my wife, she does great at building things. She's better than me. And yeah. Or, I mean, there is a couch in the studio, but you guys are going to have to fight over that one. There is a couch there. We have a couch.
We can do your casting.
Casting couch. You know what? Yeah, we've been there, done that. Yeah. Dummy did make a picture
You
for
make
that
up a
too.
part. You just gotta be good enough. That's anyway.
Believe it or not, I got that couch out of the trash. Someone was getting rid of it, and I was like, "That's a nice leather couch. It's got like one rip. It's the most uncomfortable couch.
A little
But it's
sticky. It's okay.
yeah, low mileage. It's all right." Man, appreciate you, Dave. Thank you. And Wade came in with a $5 super chat. Now these guys, they just want us to look at it. That's what's happening.
Would you look at that? Oh my gosh, just look at it. Just look at it. You got to look at it this way, okay? You just got to look at it. That's all you can do anymore.
You know, you just got to look at it. And thank you, Wade, for making us look at it. Some guys are like, man, isn't that overplayed? I'm like, yeah,
No.
but they keep making us look at it. It's terrible.
No,
Terrible.
it's never. Oh, it's so great. So
Got
good.
a question. Any plans for amps? Yes, but they'd be like 2 years away. So.
Oh, so it's already cooking, huh? It's cooking. It's you're
the early
prepping the
stages.
meal.
Yeah. So. a little
I
ways
mean,
out.
at this point, you might as well. You know, I see it happen all the other times, even with like just distribution companies making amplifiers or making certain products. And with you guys having subwoofers and mid-range, I feel like it kind of is a no-brainer. And if you're going to have the same designer for the speakers help you out with the amplifiers, I'm sure you'll be in good hands. I'm sure you'll be in good hands.
I remember going to some shows. It was the one in Deptford, and there's one guy that came up to my car. I had a 96 Beretta, and it was all Rockford because I just loved Rockford at the time. And he kept going on about how nobody does the same brand. Everybody mixes brands, and he hates that. And he was like so happy to see someone that had Rockford this and Rockford that. So, you know, I don't think everybody does that, but it would be neat to have like just a sparked vehicle that has like speakers, amps, subs, you know, and then all the accessories that we offer. That's why we kind of want to flesh out our offering so that we can have, you know, an acoustic series, electronics, and really just offer like everything.
The whole package.
But if you want that, you've got to buy our woofer to help us grow to the point of doing that.
Yeah.
Yes. So go check out the Bass Blaster. Go check it out. And I threw up a thing, you know, earlier, a little poll if people were going to buy it. And one comment was, well, I haven't seen too many reviews of it. And it is early. But again, you know, just by looking at the woofer, I can tell kind of like, you know, what it's going to do, how it's going to sound. And then obviously, who designed that woofer? What am I looking at too? And what other products have they made? And knowing like, you know, Jacob Fuller designed this thing, you know, and like people love the Sundown U, and that's a pretty darn good woofer. You know, it's not this big X-Max monster or whatever. And I feel like if you're going to compare it to anything, maybe something like that, and a little bit more power handling, a little bit maybe lower FS, more moving mass, more throw. I don't know. I would have to look at all the specs of the Bass Blaster, but you know, still an awesome woofer, and I'm glad you guys did it. And amplifiers, hopefully soon down the road. And I know people are going to be like, one thing telling you. Let me tell you one thing. Clip limiter. Just put it in there. Don't even think twice about it. If you don't, they're not going to buy it. They're going to be yelling at you. Put a clip limiter in it. You need to have that little clippy light, little blinky light, go bing, bing, bing. You know. That's it. Thank you, Mike, for the pennies. Appreciate you. They always make this show go sideways, man. But you know what? Appreciate the pennies, man. Really do.
I got pennies.
Don't ask about candy. Just don't ask. Don't ask.
Are you using a Stream Deck?
Yes, I got 2 Stream Decks and then ATEM switcher, Elgato Wave Link, Wave mic, and Streamlabs, and a bunch of other things here. But that's the main.
Get a tutorial from you someday about all
Absolutely. I know. I feel like I need to do videos like that on the side too, of like, you know, the live streaming side.
Yeah, definitely. I'd tune in.
Absolutely. I appreciate it, man. And I got you. I got you. Dave's throwing more. He wants to see the $20 one.
I don't care what you say about kickers. This guy is a difference maker.
Difference maker indeed. And, you know, every time they say kicker, I'm like, oh, clip. Love it. Love it. Dave says, Andy, you know I love you all. I never imagined car audio would turn into what it has. I'm old, LOL. Love you too, Dave. And car audio, I would say it's in some aspects changed for better, maybe changed for worse, but I feel like, you know, at least in my bubble of car audio, it seems okay. You know, I just don't go to the dark side, you know. Mufasa told me not to, so I just don't go that way. Stick away from it.
For me, car audio is still just as fun as it's always been, so.
Right, and you just have to focus on yourself, your own build, you know, and I know it's easy for us to say because people are like, oh, well, you're them and you're them, but, you know, it's about you. It's about when you get in the car, not about you pulling out your phone, making a TikTok short about your bass flex, and it's about you driving in your car, listening to music, and it's sounding the way you want it to sound, and then obviously, well, it sounds good, now I want more, you know, and that whole drive, and it's what got me into it too, and I'm sure you guys as well.
Yep.
Yeah, there you go. See, you know the love and the passion, so.
You know, and that's the only thing that keeps me going with this stuff, man. You know, I get into other things, like right now I've been going like just head to toe and just computers and pulling them apart and just, you know, learning the BIOS and not code, but just BIOS and setting things up and, you know, and then fish tanks and, you know, motorcycles and just cars in general and just electronics. It all goes hand in hand. And broadcasting now, that's what it feels like. It's like, oh man, I could do a side thing for broadcasting now. I don't know, babe. They got a big ATEM switcher. Mine's got like 8 cameras. They got like 64. I don't know. I don't know. But it's not off the table.
There you go.
But you got to fluctuate it. Mo Hazer.
Well, wait, we didn't say thank you to Chris.
Oh, I missed. Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
They're just donating them all, man. Rich and Ed, MVP in the game.
Thank you.
Appreciate you, Chris.
Thanks,
And
Chris.
you guys are, man. And just the products you make and the videos, I do miss them. And I know with what you guys are doing now, I think, maybe finish that part 6 for the series.
You have the footage?
They're ringing rocks. They're rocks.
Oh,
That
yeah.
ring. They're ringing rocks.
Ringing
Yeah,
rocks.
we can reshoot it too.
Yeah.
There's a park here called Ringing Rocks Park, and they're volcanic. It's a boulder field, and you can hit them with a hammer, and they ding like a bell. So we were explaining the acoustics of those rocks.
Oh, wow. So kind of like, what are those horseshoe things that have certain frequencies when you hit them? What are those called?
Tuning forks.
Tuning forks, yeah. Is it kind of like that, but a rock?
Well, they're filled with like a lot of iron,
Yeah.
right?
Oh,
So
wow.
like that's kind of why. And when you hit it, it sounds hollow, even though it's a solid boulder. It sounds like it's hollow. It's really weird.
Yeah.
That's
So
nuts.
it's cool. And there's a couple different tones depending on the size and whatnot. So yeah.
And it's crazy how sound travels, and we try to imagine it. I feel like, eventually maybe one day in the future we'll be able to see sound. You know what I mean? Like in 3D with some like kind of glasses and just like ultrasonic frequencies. Oh yeah, look at that. We can see 15 hertz. I mean, we could just look at some hair tricks. That's
These
good
little
enough.
tabs that you take or something.
Yeah. Red pill. Take the red pill.
Yeah,
That's
there you
it.
go.
Something really quick. So my son's got 2 rats, and he saw on YouTube that scientists discovered that when you tickle them, that they actually have a high pitched squeak that is above human hearing. And I'm like, come on, no. He was like, we got to test this out. We got to test this out. So being the scientist that I am, I got a condenser mic that could record at 40,000 hertz, and I put it into the program after we recorded it, and I had to like pitch it down, and there was nothing. And I'm like showing my son, I'm like, look, there's nothing there. He's like, can you just try it again? I pitched it down again, and you hear this very, 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 very high pitched squeal, and you look at you can visualize the sound, and it shows up in dots, each little squeal. And he was right. So we did the experiment, and we ended up finding out that his rats emit a really high pitched squeak when they're being tickled that we can't hear. And it was neat. Like, I didn't want to do it. I was tired, but I went through with it, and I learned something.
I've been doing that the whole time because I'm just tickled pink.
Hey, that's how you learn, and it's always cool to be able to test something like that and above what we can hear. 20 to 20. It's kind of crazy. There's a lot of other things going on above that, but that's cool that you found that out and stuff. Appreciate you, Mo. I said Mo Hazer, Mo, just Mo. Thank you, Mo. And man, these guys are not going to let you go. They don't want me to end the show. They just keep throwing super chats, and I'm just going to keep throwing them up. Garrick, appreciate you. My third, last, and final rebuild wouldn't be what it is without all of my Sparked Innovation equipment. And
yeah, Garrick, the Praisinator. Yeah, I mean,
he's
I can't
one of
wait
the
to
biggest
see
fans.
it. Yeah.
That's it, the Praisinator. I know he was saying, he's like, man, if I didn't already buy the Trinity, I would have picked up a Base Blaster 18.
They'll just have to do another build.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? Hey, you get one done and then you leave it and then you start off and do another one. That's the right way to do it. I got like 3 and I'm just never finished with 2 of them. Thank you, Lily, Lisa. Thank you both for my love of bass. And it's crazy what
That's my sister, Lisa. Thanks.
can do.
Thanks, sis.
Thank you, Lisa. We need to put a bass blaster in her car.
Oh yeah, that's right. What do we have in there now?
The audio system.
Audio system. Yeah.
Nice.
Got to replace it.
So before we do start to wrap up the show, has anyone interviewed you? Have you been on other people's show and talked about your story?
A little bit, not really. Kicker, and I think who else? There was one recently, but I don't think they do a podcast anymore. And I was on Big Jeff once. Not too often yet. Okay. Getting there.
Yeah. And also, what shows are you doing this year?
Well, at least Slamology. TDH is up in the air. just because finances, just at home, not YouTube side, but just finances in general. And I don't know what I want to do in the later of the year, because like SEMA is pretty cool, and I keep putting it off, and I want to go to SEMA so bad.
Cool. We were there.
You know?
We had a booth there. I do recommend it. If we go this year and you go, then we can hang out there.
Awesome. I know I at least got to see you guys once a year. That's why I like going to TDH. I knew I'd always run into you guys down there.
Yeah. It's our closest show. It's still like 5 hours, 4 hours, something like that, but it's our closest show. So we'll be there. That's the end of March.
I know it's coming up. Nick already messaged me. I was like, hi, gotta let you know. I'm coming, maybe. I don't know. I want to come, as long as all the, thoughts align. SDK, what's y'all favorites quote from Idiocracy, the movie?
There's so many. Mine is when Camacho gets up to do a speech and he just goes, shit. And it's on the teleprompter.
I think mine would be sorry, bro. He's like, there's lots of retards living totally kick-ass lives. He's like, my sister started. He's a pilot now.
She's a pilot now. Welcome to
feel
Costco.
like-
I love you.
Kayla would not watch that movie with me. She'd be like, this is not funny.
It is brilliant.
Got electrolytes.
It's what's playing Steve. We're living in it now. I mean, like that's what's so great about it.
That's it.
Oh yeah,
Hands them the map. I mean, it's great. That's a movie I recommend to people.
Yeah, absolutely. 10 out of 10. Man, these guys are just making the kicker kick. It literally goes a minute for every $2 worth of super chats or memberships. You guys are awesome.
Wow.
Deviant, Rich and Ed, y'all are scientists for real. Keep doing what you do. Absolute legends. Andy rolls too. Thank you, Deviant.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
You gotta encourage the inner scientist.
Yeah.
Maintain curiosity. Do experiments. Gather
That's what
data.
started my love for bass, and I'm sure yours as well. So here's something we asked earlier about the cone. It is silver colored paper, but it's a paper cone like any other basic woofer you'd see out there. So one of the beauties that this is kind of one of the last thoughts that I want to share is, and Rich knows this, it's amazing that we can have in our car in this case, a 10-inch piece of paper vibrate your doors and windows hundreds of feet away. So a piece of paper, that's what this is, can move objects hundreds of feet away. That is like a mind-blowing scientific fact I've held in myself since I was a kid. And now I get to use that and create things that do that propagate that wave, that create that movement, that visual and auditory sense from a piece of paper. And it's just, I love it. It's one of the most amazing things I've ever thought
I'm so happy for you guys. You guys truly deserve, being on this show tonight to get the recognition you do. Everything else that's coming up, you guys are just the positivity, your mindset. And, I hope this really does well for you so you guys can keep making woofers and make all this other stuff that goes along with it and keep doing it, and to make a livelihood out of car audio. I mean, I know people say don't make your hobby a job, but I don't know, man. It beats a 9 to 5 if you can do something that you like.
Yes,
Yep,
definitely.
sure.
Yes, so true.
Got another one here from Wade. These drivers will look fantastic with LED Ascents. Can't wait to see what people do with them. And I know you guys got something there that you were working on, Ed. What was that with all the LEDs on the speaker?
Oh, I made a basket out of acrylic. For Sundown E-Series has a small enough motor. And we have a bunch of parts. We were reconing them. So it was really a proof of concept. And I thought about scaling it up for this, but that would be a whole other project. But our Andy here was making some rings, and he thought of maybe doing an acrylic trim ring, because these trim rings come off. Maybe doing an acrylic trim ring that bolts right in that has LEDs in it. So maybe some of the ideas from that proof of concept will trickle down in other forms.
Right, but to the point about how shiny it is, he had one inverted, in his truck, and he had LED lights on. And he left them on when he went into Wawa, and there was like a guy waiting for him to come out to compliment him, and he was like basically going nuts, saying how pretty it looked. The guy knew nothing about subs or anything, like, but he wanted to know what that was, and he was complimenting the hell out of it. So that is one thing I got to say about this too. My wife has no idea what car audio is. She barely knows what I really do for a living. But when I showed her the bass blaster, she said, "Oh, it's cute." Like,
hey,
you know, it's you don't even know what it is, but you think it's cute. Like, so
Right.
we hope that this appeals to a larger market of people that maybe aren't into bass or don't know what bass is. Maybe this will be what gets them into it.
That's a big point. It's like if you're just thinking narrowly of like what the people are doing, that are in the YouTube chat watching right now, and only them, you know, you're not going to reach a bigger audience, and you need to make something that's a little flashy too, just to get the other normal, common people that are like, I need some louder music in my car. My uncle had subwoofers and I need some, you know?
Right.
And you look at those and you say, look at that, I want those ones. They look different than the other ones. And I mean, even kicker, square, half of the point is for looks. Yes, you get more cone area, but it's you know, a little bit of strategic of design, you know, and it looks different.
Definitely.
I mean, these guys will not stop. Like, we're already over the hour mark. We're definitely over. We're getting closer to 90 minutes-ish. But we got Sparked Innovations. We started late. We're going to end late. David K. with a $10 super chat. I need to get them Serwin Vega strokers from Ed.
I do have one left that I am still selling. So it's a 12-inch stroker. Original OG stroker over there.
Wow.
So if he wants it, he can reach out.
Bingo. Look at that, Dave. And Dave's an awesome guy. I know he's got a whole just wall in his house of Serwin Vega, you know. Like using what they're supposed to be for, you know, home audio, just loud system, and I'm sure they'll be in good hands.
XRs, I think. What are they called?
Oh, the home audio ones?
Yeah,
I don't know. He might have them all.
And he's the best. He is the best.
That's Mo.
Oh, look at Mo. Thank you, Mo.
There you go. He wants the Cookie Monster to keep kicking.
Yeah.
I know, man. He is going, and that his poor legs, man, they're gonna fall off one of these live streams. Bing, 40-yard field goal. It's good.
Is that your rule for the stream, to keep it going as long as super chats come in?
You know, not really, because it's just right now we're getting flooded, and I'm trying to catch up, and I'm trying to end it, but they just won't stop. But I will end it. I'm gonna have to tell them to stop. Plus, they keep going even when the show's over. It's called the caboose, and you can't leave the show until I tell you can leave, because trust me, you don't want to miss the caboose. SDK are the OEM recones for those who clip.
Yeah, we'll have some. We actually, so our shipment, like we're missing some parts, so to build our recones, but we'll get those. They'll be
so you will provide a drop-in recone where you just cut it out, clean off your landing post, whatever, and drop in a new recone.
Here, yeah. So we'll put together drop-ins as well as if you want to recone it, not a drop-in, just build it yourself. We'll probably have. You know, we'll end up putting them on the site and having prices for it all.
Nice. And that's smart to have. I know a lot of people even want the Kicker comps, you know, the ones they sell at Walmart with the drop-in. And it's like, well, Kicker doesn't do that, but the L7X has that of whatever. But at least to have it where, you know, you can replace it. There are drop-ins. You don't have to just go to PSI or, you know, Springfield speaker and find random parts. You can rebuild it and get that going again, man. That's awesome. You guys are doing that. I didn't even know that. So thank you, Jake, for asking the question, and thank you guys for the answer. If the L7 fails, Mo can get it warrantied. You know what? I got this Kicker so long ago. They have been through abuse. 2,000 watts clamped on each one of them in my wife's car in a sealed box doing a 48.4, and I would demo with it within reason. And it's just like the coils held up, and now playing 12 hertz over and over, live stream after live stream. Suspension's holding up. We will see, though. I do want to replace it with an L7X, but I need a whole nother mount. Like, no, it's just too heavy. Speaking of which, how heavy is the bass blaster?
About 45 pounds.
Yeah, 45 on the 10 goes up to about 50 for the 18.
Wow. I mean, that's heavy. That's heavy. The L7X is 63 pounds, and it's a little bit bigger of a driver. You're talking a 12 square, so still 40 pounds. That is heavy, and it's not too heavy though. I feel like you're in that sweet medium area, and I can't wait for people to get that in their hands. And all right, I'm letting these guys go. We are not making him wait any longer. We got to exit the show, and we'll do the outro, and you guys hang out for the caboose, okay? But thank you so much for being here with me tonight, man.
Yeah,
Our
it's
pleasure.
a pleasure. Definitely, we love you.
Thanks, man.
Absolutely. And we'll have you on again. And no, Mo, no, we're done. We're done.
He's waiting for that time. He's waiting.
Yeah.
Love you guys. Thank you for watching. Thank you for joining me again, Rich and Ed. Sparked Innovations. Check them out, sparkedinnovations.com, and all your social media websites and fun stuff and apps. Thank you for watching. And as always, stay living loud. All right, now don't go nowhere.
Aw,
So we're kicking it with Andy, right?
for the longest time, it was just you.
We living loud.
Well, no, I was just saying for the longest time, it was just you. Like Ed from Spark Innovation. Now it's Rick and Ed.
Thank you, everyone. Basatronics said it was a good show, so you know that it was a good show. Thank you so much for tuning in. The Recone That Dome, absolutely ashy. Appreciate you tuning in. William. Thank you for being here, Lily. You guys are awesome. Oh boy, here we go. Instead of the caboose, look at the kicker pasties. Poor Mike. I hope Steve Irby never looks at that intro video, which he probably at least seen it once or twice. But yeah, Mike did the undoable, and that was awesome. The kicker Bronco, kicker gold letter pasties.
That's
we can
funny.
see some Base Blaster pasties coming in the future.
Hey, here
I
you go.
can see it. And there is Cornut coming in with a caboosed Spart Ed. And Dave says maybe. Don't know. No. Dave's gonna take it. Oh man, you guys are awesome. And no, Mo said no. This is when the show doesn't end, but it will end. Thank you, Mo. Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Cornut, SDK, everyone else under the sun. You guys are awesome. And I love you. Stay living loud. And then we got to dance.